So last week, following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, South Park ended up deciding to take down their episode, which had a parody character of Charlie Kirk in it. I disagreed with that decision, mostly because Charlie Kirk found it funny and expressed that he was a fan of the show, and he was perfectly willing to take the jokes and be a part of the joke and laugh with everyone and not, try to censor comedy. That would be counter to everything he believed and stood for.
It also then got turned around and turned into people saying that it was people on the right who were calling for it to be pulled, which is, of course, not true.
We just got a huge super chat, a crisis party from Peps. Hi, Brett and Mary. Hope you guys are doing well. Brett, congratulations on your wedding. And Mary, nicely done with recommending Radiator Springs to Brett. I'm sure he'll like it. I was dying of laughter. Have a nice day, guys. Yeah, Tate and I were kind of playing a little prank on you yesterday.
Look, Olivia went and found all the TikToks. About cars and Radiator Springs and like people talking about it.
I think they have a Radiator Springs at Disney, but we were just joking because it's fake. But,
I caught it as soon as I read the chat.
Yeah. Also, I should add, now that we're ahead, if we get 5 crisis parties today,
yes,
we have a wager. I am going to be sitting. You guys can't see the layout of the studio.
Let me see if I can go to PTZ in wide and like zoom out of the shot so that they can actually see what we're talking about.
You guys are not like aware of what the studio layout looks like, but I will sit in that chair that is diagonal to Brett there. And
it would be really uncomfortable. It would.
It would be uncomfortable for probably both of us, but mostly Brett because he's used to looking across.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole point, right?
So... yeah, I think that would be an interesting experiment for us. Anyway, we'll get back to our topic here. So South Park this week decided not to drop a teaser or an episode with this weird announcement on X. A note regarding tonight's previously scheduled episode. Apparently, when you do everything at the last minute, sometimes you don't get it done. This one's on us. We didn't get it done in time. Thanks to Comedy Central and South Park fans for being so understanding. Tune in next week, Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Okay, you know the JD Vance meme of him doing this face?
Seems like a weird excuse that you just procrastinated on an episodes for so long that you can't release it. When you have what is their deal with Comedy Central?
It was 500 mil. It was, how much was it? Somebody in the chat let us know. It was a lot of money.
Like $500 million that they have to release very few episodes relative to the amount that they're getting paid. I don't think that this is a real reason why they canceled the episode.
I don't buy it for a sec. Okay, look, this is not like your friend's dorm room releasing skits on YouTube. Yeah. This is cable TV. They are strict with deadlines. They have to line up advertisers, commercials. Even if it's Paramount Plus, it's got to end up, on schedule.
Thank you, guys.
Hold on.
Yeah, there's definitely something fishy going on.
I don't buy it for 1 second. Even if it's just for Paramount Plus and they don't have to worry about advertising or anything like that, I don't buy it.
And it makes you wonder if...
$1 billion from Paramount.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
With a B.
With a B.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if the subject matter of the episode they created had anything to do with the assassination. Right?
Say that again?
Because they try to make episodes relevant to current events.
Yes.
And perhaps they had storyboarded something related to the news and it wasn't approved by the network because obviously if they made light of the murder, that would be unacceptable. Perhaps that's what happened and it just flew under the radar until the last minute.
On the r/entertainment thread about this, there was people having their own discussion about it. One person said, probably had Charlie Kirk be a reoccurring joke throughout the season. Now they're scrambling to do something else when they had to fix the episode where Hillary was expected to win. Edit, thinking a little bit more. I doubt they'd back down, but probably had rewritten stuff.
Well, other people are also saying it's possibly because they need more time to storyboard an episode that is related to the assassination.
People think Cartman was killed. The town starts lionizing him and talking about how he was such a great human. The boys are sad that their friend is dead, but don't understand why everyone is making shit up about how great Cartman was. That was somebody else's theory.
Crazy.
The point is, this is like, it's the worst excuse I've ever seen in my entire life. I would have rather they just ran a rerun and then not addressed it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Maybe they should just premiere the episode with Charlie Kirk again, the original one.
Yeah, and bring it back and say, like, look, it was a mistake to remove it.
Yeah.
They should have kept it.
Yeah. Another possibility someone floated here. Kenny starts a Manosphere podcast where he shares racist and sexist opinions and then gets shot, and nobody's sure whether or not the guy who killed Kenny is in fact a bastard. There are obviously Redditors, we know where they stand, but it's definitely fishy.
It is.
I obviously would agree with the stance of most conservatives, including Charlie Kirk, in that comedy should not be censored. I wouldn't necessarily find it funny. I don't think the episode about Charlie Kirk, the original one, was all that funny because they've lost their spark. But
I mean, political comedy in general, either direction. It's the same way I feel about right-wing rap music most of the time. Even if it's something that I wouldn't necessarily disagree with, I don't enjoy it.
Oh, Tom MacDonald wasted no time.
But I liked
recording his song about it.
I enjoyed Tom MacDonald prior to. I guess I haven't listened to it. I shouldn't say I don't like it because I don't listen to it anymore. But that's just because I don't have an interest in it anymore. But there was stuff that was released in like 2018, 2019 that I really, really liked. But I just came to a point in my life where I was like, look. It's inundated. It's everywhere. Even if somebody's saying something I vehemently agree with, I don't really need it to be reminded of it in every aspect of my life, even the art I consume. Like, I just don't care. So even if South Park was making stuff that I agreed with 100%, I wouldn't care because it doesn't interest me to watch comedy around politics. But that's just me.
No, I agree. A lot of people said the same thing about Lady Ballers.
Yeah,
when it came out. And a lot of people also said the same thing about the Bircham series.
I liked Lady Ballers more than I liked Mr. Bircham, but the stuff I liked about Lady Ballers was all to do with the family storyline and had nothing to do with the comedy, which was tired.
Yeah.
The stuff with the family I found endearing, but like when they did the modern day anti-woke humor at the beginning of the movie, that was the least interesting part of it.
In 2023, because things have shifted so quickly, it was more topical and relevant and subversive. However, it did have a lot of backlash for just being way too on the nose with the politics.
Well, and that's true of most on both sides of the aisle. Most art when it comes to politics, it's like what I was talking about yesterday about that NCIS episode. Is like it felt like when they wrote it, the writers had enough distance from the material that they didn't let their opinions bleed into whatever they were talking about. These days, because of the internet and because of social media, and how whereas back in the day, politics was something you consumed on the 5 o'clock news or when you read your paper in the morning, it wasn't in your algorithm. It wasn't in an algorithm that was in front of your face all day. You had some mental distance from whatever you were writing about to really be able to create a story around it that didn't feel so forced. But now, because you're inundated with it constantly, it takes a very, very skilled writer to be able to keep that same distance from it while having it shoved in your face all the time the rest of the day.
This was the first response I saw to the cancellation announcement. It says, in other words, quote, we realize calling Donald Trump Satan repeatedly may have had something to do with the assassination last Wednesday. We already pulled Charlie Kirk's episode. Even though Charlie enjoyed it, we realize how much backlash we're going to receive. So, Audible, at least stand by your BS.
They weren't getting major backlash for the Charlie Kirk. People were mad that it got pulled. I actually I don't remember. I think it was when I was in Michigan last before the wedding and all the Kristi Noem stuff was coming out and I was just going hard against Kristi Noem. Like she got pissed about the being on South Park and I was like, bad luck at first. Then she somebody on her team pointed out to her that this is going to end badly for you unless you just embrace it. Then she made it her profile picture, but that's not how it started. And I was like, look, you're in a losing battle if you are mad about this. Even if you are, the politically expedient thing to do is to pretend like you're not and just take the joke. because they will win either way if you pretend to be mad or if you show that you're mad.
Similarly, Matt Walsh just called out Pam Bondi for pushing this weird narrative about hate speech.
Yeah, guys, if you aren't following Samara Armstrong on Instagram, go follow her. She's been posting stories nonstop about all of this stuff between Charlie Kirk and the Pam Bondi stuff, and it's really interesting to see the perspective of somebody who worked in Hollywood or works in Hollywood and is an artist, and her take on these things. And she was pointing out, like, what Pam Bondi's doing is ridiculous and stupid. Who are you to decide what hate speech is?
Right. All that conservatives were advocating for and are still advocating for is private companies using their freedom of association to possibly, fire employees that don't represent them. That they don't want to represent them, and like Office Depot.
And look, I don't even know how I feel
that
about
fired employees that refused to print a poster for a Charlie Kirk vigil, for instance. They weren't saying that we needed a government crackdown on hate speech.
And that's one of those things, I don't even know how I feel about most of that stuff. The best I could conclude when I was having these discussions, take all of these debates and take the social media out of it and imagine which one would be less offensive to you in the real world. If you got into a debate with somebody, a fight at work, and it was I disagree and I think your politics are stupid, or somebody saying that person deserved to die, which one is more likely to be more harshly punished by their boss? But it's do you guys remember the video? I'm sorry, it was a photo from 5 years ago, where the guy got fired from his job because he was cracking his knuckles in his work van, and somebody thought he was doing the OK hand sign, and they called his job and he got fired.
Wow.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so a guy was cracking his knuckles in his work van outside the window, and he got fired. It might have been 2017. I thought it was 2018. But the point is, the dude lost his job for that, and equivocating the two as that being the same thing as what's happening now are not the same thing. But at the same time, I appreciate someone like Colonel Kurtz, who is coming out, and she has a different perspective on this, and she's taken a very different turn. And she does not necessarily agree with a lot of these firings. And I want all the people to have their opinions heard. And I don't know where I come down on it.
I do. I'm all for it.
I know.
I'm all for it. And I don't think it's hypocritical at all.
I do think Pam Bondi is trash, though.
Yes,
she
me
should
too.
Go. I think we can all agree on that.
Something that we're all on the same page about. But what is your personal prediction here? Do you think that they've delayed and that they're going to put out an episode about events, related to the assassination, or do you think that they're going to veer away from it?
That is a very good look. They've been very political from everything that I've read and everything that I've seen in this space. They've been very political this season. They better get their writing caps on now to find the most. Humor's different, right? Like I said, Law and Order will likely do an episode on something like this,
like a dramatized version.
These events are fictional. They always say these events are fictional and have nothing to do with the real world. That just happened when the season premiere of, was it either Dark Wolf? I think it was the premiere for Terminalist Dark Wolf. It was events in this episode bear some resemblance to things in the real world that was made before it happened, and because it had to do with Israel and Saudi Arabia, or Israel and Iran.
Okay.
And I was like, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Thank you, guys. I think we could get to the 5-party goal today.
I think we can get to 5 parties.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny says Brett has lost it. Brett jumped shark. I haven't jumped over a shark yet.
What does that mean?
But the point is I think South Park will find a way to end up covering it, though. I think they'll put some distance between it. I bet you what they end up doing is they're going to write a new episode. They'll move the episode that was supposed to be the following one, move it up, and then go back to it later.
Yeah, probably. But I'm just interested to see what they will do. It's probably not going to be funny, which should be our primary concern.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.